A blood-orange sunrise crests the horizon. Birds scatter across the sky. Wind brushes tall grass as the camera glides low through the plains. Herds of wildebeest and zebra stretch across the landscape. As the first light bleeds over the golden Savannah, life stirs in the dust. The land is ancient, unyielding, and in this world survival is the only law. Cut to a pride of lions nestled beneath a wide acacia. Their golden coats shimmer in the low light. Here reigns a dynasty, a pride, forged in blood and bone. At its head, a king weathered by battle, with eyes that remember every rival's roar. A dominant male lion lies half asleep, his mane catching the breeze. Around him, lionesses begin to rise, stretching, grooming, yawning. Two cubs tumble over each other, playful and unaware. This pride holds the pulse of the plains. 6 lionesses, 2 cubs, and a lone king whose rule is near its end. His steps are slower now, his breath heavier, but his presence still commands silence. The lionesses begin to walk toward the edge of a clearing, noses up, sensing the day. Wide angle, a family of elephants ambles past. Dust rises from their steps. One lioness watches them with caution. Giants cross the land unchallenged. Even kings make way when the elders of the earth march past. The elephants move calmly, a baby shielded between matriarchal legs. The lions do not move. Midday sun. Heat waves ripple through the grass. The lionesses crouch low, stalking a herd of impala grazing near a thicket. The camera cuts between tense eyes, twitching tails, and pounding hooves. Hunger tightens its grip. A hunt begins, not with speed, but with stillness. The lionesses fan out. A signal is passed, barely a movement. Suddenly, they charge. The herd explodes in every direction. One lioness cuts left, isolating a limping impala. She lunges, claws sink, jaws clamp. The kill is quick. Silence returns. As the pride feeds, the camera pulls to the distance. A shape on the hill. One lion. Larger, darker, and watching. Not all eyes are friendly. Beyond the horizon, danger waits. A rogue male. Exiled. Alone. Hungry. Patient. Cut to the rogue sniffing the wind. His body is scarred, his mane thick with dust. He turns and disappears into the brush. The dominant male walks along the boundary of his territory. He rubs his face on low shrubs, sprays the ground, and scrapes the earth with his back paws. The king must remind the land of his name. Each tree, each stone must echo his scent. But his steps falter. His legs, once iron, now tremble. He pauses, breathes heavily, and continues. Dusk settles. A cackle of hyenas approaches the pride's recent kill site. The lionesses growl low. One charges, suddenly scattering the intruders. The hyena is no coward. It is a tactician. It does not fight for pride, but for opportunity. One hyena lingers too long. A lioness pounces. Dust. Screams. The hyena escapes, but limps. The rogue male appears again, closer this time. He has crossed into the outer rim of the pride's territory. Boundaries in the wild are invisible until they are broken. And this rogue carries no fear. His goal is not just food, it is legacy. He scents an old tree, urinates, looks toward the horizon. He roars. Far off, the king lifts his head. He knows that sound. The dominant male answers with a deep, thunderous roar. The camera cuts between him and the rogue. 2 lions claiming the same kingdom. 2 voices shake the sky. A warning, a promise. The war for tomorrow begins tonight. The pride rests uneasily. Cubs lie between lioness paws. One lioness stays awake, scanning the dark. In the distance, a single set of eyes gleams, unmoving, watching. The sun may fall, but the struggle has just begun. The king has roared, the challenger has answered, and the Savannah listens. Morning rises on uneasy ground. The silence carries tension, like a string pulled tight. Last night the challenger roared. Today, the king must answer. The dominant male standing alone on a ridge, scanning the horizon. His mane rustles in the breeze. His breath is heavy. Flashback-style montage. Slow-motion glimpses of old battles. The king as a younger lion, fighting two males at once, limping from a gory wound, roaring over a fallen rival. He was not always old, not always tired. Once he was fire, fury, the nightmare of hyenas and the death of kings. Back to present, he limps slightly, nose flaring. He smells something. Fresh scent. The rogue has come closer. Towering giraffes move slowly across the landscape. Below them, warthogs dig. The pride weaves through the brush, staying low. One lioness pauses, her ears twitch. Not all threats come with fangs. The Savannah speaks in signs, a pause in birdsong, a rustle without wind. The land whispers, beware. The rogue male, no longer alone. Two more lions flank him, lean, powerful, unknown. A coalition. The coalition moves like shadows, marking, sniffing, claiming. They chase, jackals for sport. One bites into a log, flexing his strength. What one lion cannot take, three may devour. Coalitions rise where weakness opens the door. And tonight this door is wide open. The king resting beneath an acacia. His eyes open. He hears them. Distant roars. Louder now. Closer. In tall grass the lionesses gather. They are tense, ears low. The eldest watches the cubs, her gaze fixed, unreadable. They were born into his rule, raised in his protection. But lions do not worship the past. They follow power. Two lionesses move toward the scent trail of the rogues. One turns back. The bond of loyalty begins to fray. Dust swirls. The king walks toward the boundary line, flanked by a single lioness. The air trembles. From the scrub, the rogue coalition appears, bold, upright. They stare at each other. No sound, no motion. In a world ruled by violence, hesitation is death. But the king stands, not for victory, but for legacy. A sudden roar. The youngest rogue lunges forward, stopped by the older one. They are testing. Not yet. Ambush darkness falls. Hyenas howl in the distance. The pride settles around the cubs. One lioness sneaks away, moving toward a scent trail. Suddenly, growls. A flash of movement. One rogue has entered the outer den. The lionesses leap up. A growling standoff in the dark. The line is crossed. The test becomes war. And blood must follow. The king charges in, roaring with fury. Dust explodes. The rogue fights back hard, claws slashing. Blood flies into the air. One lioness tries to protect a cub. A rogue swipes her aside. The king tackles the rogue to the ground. Roars echo through the trees. He is outmatched, but not outwilled. A lifetime of wars burns in his chest. Tonight he fights like a lion with nothing left to lose. The rogue breaks away, retreats. The coalition vanishes into the dark. Dawn breaks. Blood stains the earth. The king stands, battered, panting. The cubs are safe. For now. But the lionesses look shaken. He held them back. For a night. But even legends bleed. And the rogues now know. The door is not locked. It only needs one more push. The camera pulls high over the savannah. Herds move. Birds take flight. Lions rest. And 3 shadows close in. Power never stays still. It shifts. It hunts. It rises. The rivals have tasted defiance. They will return, with fire in their eyes. Early morning mist rolls low over the grasses. The pride lies scattered, silent, weary. Vultures circle over distant carcasses. A lioness licks her wounds in the shade of a twisted tree. The silence is not peace. It is the breath before the roar. The rogues did not retreat. They recalculated, and now they return. Cut to the Rogue Coalition. 3 lions, side by side, walking with purpose. Dust swirls at their feet. Their eyes burn with hunger and ambition. The dominant male paces near a cluster of marula trees. He sniffs a patch of disturbed earth. His pupils narrow. The scent is fresh. They were here. The scent speaks louder than roars. The challengers have entered the heartland. There is no longer any doubt. They are coming for the throne. He marks over the scent, digging his claws deep into the ground. 2 lionesses move through thick underbrush. They aren't hunting. They're tracking. Their movements are alert, cautious. One pauses, ears rotating. The pride is fracturing. Instinct pulls one way. Loyalty pulls another. But in war, neutrality is suicide. They find a rogue's scrape. Mark. One lioness sniffs. Her ears flatten. She turns away, conflicted. Dry riverbed. Cracked earth. The sun blazes overhead. The king approaches slowly, alone, but defiant. One rogue stands atop a rock outcrop, watching. He jumps down. They circle each other, growling. Dust rises. There is no strategy now, no delay, only fury. The first true clash of titans begins here, in the bones of a dried-up river. They lunge. Roars split the air. Claws rake. The king pins the rogue, biting down. But another rogue rushes in, slamming the king off. He's outnumbered again. Brutal. Battle sequence. The king holds his own against 2 males, biting, slashing, roaring. But he's older, slower. One rogue catches him from behind. He collapses to one knee. Blood pours from his shoulder. He rises, swaying, and attacks again. He will not die. Easily. Not quietly. This is his kingdom. These are his skies. Eventually he retreats. Barely. Roaring into the wind as he disappears into tall grass. Night. Hyenas converge on the riverbed. Blood-soaked ground. One rogue still lingers, licking. Wounds. Hyenas creep closer. Eyes glint. Laughs echo. The war has left wounds, and the scavengers come to taste them. The rogue roars and lunges. Hyenas scatter, snapping and taunting. They do not win, but they do not leave. Back at the pride's den site, a lioness stands guard. A rogue attempts to approach. She charges, snarling, standing over the cubs. The males fight for dominance, but the lionesses fight for survival. The rogue backs off, pacing. He will wait until the king no longer stands in his way deep inside a thicket. The dominant male lies under a bush. Flies buzz. Blood crusts over his shoulder. He breathes heavily, but his eyes burn. He is not finished. Not yet. Pride lives in his heart, not in his wounds. Cut to flashbacks. His first takeover. The day his first cub was born. Roaring over his territory at dawn, he struggles to his feet. Wide shot. Lightning flashes far across the plains. The coalition regroups under a tree, licking wounds. One looks toward the pride's directio. The battle has begun. The land has chosen no victor. But storm clouds gather, in the sky, and in the soul of every lion on this plain. Nightfall. Roars echo across the savannah from 3 directions. Lionesses freeze. The cubs stay low. Every roar tonight is a warning. Every shadow could be the last thing they see. The king is wounded. The rogues are waiting. The war has entered its darkest. Hour cut to black, one final roar, muted sunrise. The light is soft, filtered through clouds. A lone lioness walks across the open plain, head low, ears twitching at every sound. Her belly is empty. Her cubs are hidden deep within the brush. With dawn comes no relief. Hunger bites harder. Trust grows thinner. The kingdom stands, but its walls are crumbling. Cut to the dominant male in silhouette standing on an overlook. His mane is unkempt, his wounds raw. He surveys the land with heavy eyes. The lionesses gather at a distance. One whispers low growls to another. They glance toward the injured king. Among the lionesses, doubt breeds tension. Some still follow him. Others question the cost of staying loyal to a fallen king. A third lioness lingers near the cubs. She watches the horizon, waiting. The rogue coalition makes its move. Under the cover of thick brush, they creep forward. One circles toward the old den site. Another marks a termite mound. The third stops to roar, short, sharp, commanding. The coalition does not wait. It presses, probes, forces cracks into dying, collapse. And now, they come not to test, but to take. One lioness walks to meet a rogue, without snarling, without attack. They stare at each other. She turns her back to him, and leads him toward the pride. In the wild, betrayal is not treachery, it is strategy. She chooses survival over sentiment, strength over memory. Another lioness watches from the grass, stunned. She growls, but says nothing. The dominant male limps from the shadows, mane flared by wind. He sees the rogue inside, his territory, near his cubs. He does not hesitate. With a deafening roar, he charges, wounded, abandoned, alone. Yet still, he charges, for blood, for honor, for the final roar. Claws collide, bodies slam. The old king bites hard into the rogue's shoulder. The challenger strikes back. They crash through the brush in a blur of dust and fury. The other 2 rogues flank the area. One lioness blocks their path. She stands firm, but hesitates. One rogue growls. She steps aside. The cubs cower under a thorn bush. With each heartbeat, the past dies, and the future sharpens its claws. The rogues now encircle the den. One lunges at a cub, only to be tackled by the loyal lioness. She bites, she screams, she fights, but the numbers overwhelm. The old king is losing. Blood covers his face. He staggers back, his legs weak. The rogue coalition surrounds him now, 3 against 1. He roars, one final, thunderous, earth-shaking cry. He does not roar to win. He roars to be remembered. The coalition attacks. Dust swallows the scene. Roars turn to snarls. Then, silence. Evening light. The rogue coalition stands over the clearing. The king's body lies still in the tall grass. The wind swirls his mane. The cubs are gone. The king is dead. The roar silenced. The crown devoured. One lioness carries a cub in her mouth, away, into hiding. She looks back only once. Weeks pass. The new coalition patrols their conquered territory. Lionesses submit. Herds scatter. The land shifts beneath new paws. They have taken the kingdom, through claw, through cunning, through force. But the savannah is a cycle, and even kings who rise must one day fall. The camera glides over the plains. A distant roar rises. Somewhere hidden in the grass, 2 young cubs survive, eyes wide, spirits unbroken. He is gone, but not forgotten. The final roar may fade, but its echo remains. In every cub who survives, in every lion who dares to challenge, the savannah remembers. The sun creeps over the golden plains. Morning birds sing cautiously. The savannah breathes a new rhythm. 3 lions, the coalition, walk through their conquered kingdom. Heads high, scars glowing in the light. The dust has settled, the cries have faded, and the kings have changed. But the land still whispers the name of the one who came before. The coalition begins marking territory aggressively. One chases off a lone hyena, another roars from atop a termite mound, the third mates with a lioness. Dominance is not inherited, it is enforced. With fear, with fury, with relentless control. The pride adapts, the lionesses obey. But some glance toward the horizon, remembering another face. The most brutal reality sets in. One rogue searches the thickets, a lioness growls, he pushes past her. A cub squeals. To erase the past, they kill it. The blood of the former king, too dangerous to live, too proud to bow. Some cubs fall, others are hidden far away by lionesses that defy the new rule in silence. Far from the pride, 2 cubs, survivors of the former king, travel with a lone lioness. They hide near a rocky outcrop. Hyenas lurk in the distance. They are too young to fight, too small to claim. But within their hearts the roar still echoes. The lioness teaches them to stay downwind, to freeze at sounds, to vanish when needed. Months pass. The coalition reigns ruthlessly. Their power expands, but cracks begin to show. One limps, another loses interest in patrol. One night, 2 of them fight violently over a lioness. Victory unites, but power divides. The very force that made them kings now threatens to shatter their rule. Blood stains one lion's cheek. He walks away into the dark. Now subadults, the exiled cubs grow, stronger. One practices pouncing. Another stares long at the moon, roaring softly, mimicking the sound they once heard from their father. They do not know his name, but they carry his fire, his instincts, his rage. They begin to test buffalo, chase jackals, and explore wider. One day the youngest rogue, now separated from his coalition, encounters a fully grown cub of the fallen king. They stare each other down. The young lion steps forward. Without fear. The time of hiding ends. The heir does not ask permission. He takes what burns in his blood. They clash briefly. The rogue retreats, surprised, limping. The lionesses begin to notice. They speak in low growls. One visits the old den, finds claw marks from the cubs. She does not erase them. The pride does not forget. It remembers every face, every fight. And when the wind changes, it listens for familiar footsteps. Golden light drenches the hills. The now mature son of the fallen king climbs a ridge. He looks down at the coalition's territory, hears one weak roar in the distance. He raises his head. And it is not the loudest roar, not the strongest, but it carries weight. It carries history. It is the legacy reborn. The screen fades between old and new, the fallen king roaring in memory, his son walking in the same path, lionesses watching with wide eyes, the savannah stretches in dew. The final roar was never truly final. It became a legend, a bloodline. A spark passed through claw, through bone, through roar. And now, the next chapter begins. One last shot. The young lion steps into the golden light, mane flickering in the wind, eyes locked on the horizon. This is the wild. This is the way, and this is the roar that never dies. Fade to black. Echoes of a distant roar rumble across the screen.